If you could falcon punch the skies, you might be a falconeer. But in the meantime, yeah, this is a cool concept for a game. You're flying in the air, you fly on a giant falcon that's like at least 3 to 5 times your size. And it's an action fantasy game. It really feels like a spiritual successor to the Panzer Dragoon saga, but Sega saga. And so uh, it's interesting. It's a very beautiful game. I heard it's a one-person team, which is actually super impressive. Um, the environmental graphics, like, they're amazing. Seeing the ocean waves, the special effects, they're all top-notch and gorgeous. And that's like probably the game's highlight. From there, some of the faces look pretty good. Some look unfinished in my books. There's a decent amount of lore. You're sort of hit a little bit with the lore pretty hard in the game, and also pre-game. A little bit too much in my opinion, but like pretty much the story is like all of the islands seem to be at war with each other. I mean, that's pretty easiest way to explain it, really. You can adjust like the sensitivity settings, but like the dogfighting in this game, it should be as cool as Dragoon Saga, or like any way you imagine it. Like, you think like that would be the first thing they would look at and be like, yeah, this is going to be amazing. They're going to play test it and realize, this is super fun. No. So yeah, it's just super clunky, the dogfighting, which is like the most of the game. There's fetch quests involved. You can try and maneuver like multiple enemies and use your targeting system. And I found like the targeting system was a little bit whack. Just didn't really work that well for me. And then as soon as you try and dodge, it's just so clunky to move around, especially if you have multiple enemies, which is a shame because the game looks great. And I'm sure that's what everyone sees. Your falcon doesn't move like it should when it's trying to tackle multiple enemies, and the dogfighting is like more of a necessary chore than a fun endeavor. And in this game, it's gotta be fun, like a Rogue Squadron game in the fantasy setting, but it's not. There needs to be more guidance, in my opinion, on where you need to go. I mean, some people love to explore. I'm not really an exploration guy. I'd rather know where I'm going, or at least find a way to toggle that on. So if you love discovering things on your own, you'll like this game. But like an option to have like a helpful compass would really be useful. I don't think it would be too hard to do. It would just improve the radar's usefulness. I just found the radar helped, but yeah, you have no idea where to go, and like you discover stuff along the way. But that should be an option for sure. I just find like there's no checkpoint system in the mission, so after playing for a while, it's just like, whatever. I didn't finish the mission I was on. I was just like, I don't care. So if you lose a fight or you fail an objection, you have to restart that mission from scratch. And this is like, once they get more and more complicated, that's a pain in the butt. Same thing with like classic games, like as I mentioned, Rogue Squadron back in the day. Like, that's what made that game hard too. It should be like an option, part of the different difficulty. But ultimately the game's highly repetitive. Like, you can't really land your falcon as a falconeer. You're up in the skies, and like you're pretty much doing the same thing mission to mission with some slight changes. There's fighting, there's escorting and retrieving object missions, and the fighting, as I said, is broken. It's not as fun as it should be, especially since that's what you're doing the most. But you're always in the sky, so yeah, it doesn't vary much. Ultimately, despite the amazing graphics don't make a game, and here's like the major lesson for this game. Just the gameplay's failings bring the rest of the game down. It can look amazing, but as soon as you play it, if it's not fun, people are going to go somewhere else. So if you're patient, you might be able to tolerate the game's dogfighting and it's like certain gameplay elements of it. But like the lack of mid-mission checkpoints just brings this game to like a 7 or 6 out of 10. Just because it needs those fixes, and that would make it much better and more fun. And as soon as the dogfighting gets better, this game score would get better to like probably 8, 8.5, I assume. So in the meantime, practice your dogfighting. Hopefully one day this gets fixed, or we'll get a sequel. Alright, keep on gaming and hold on to your Falcon. Bye.